Hola a todos, bienvenidos una vez más a otra edición de Literatura Actual o Literature Today. Welcome everybody back on Literature Today program. Me, Darío Aguilar Peregrina, your host, and my co-host, Stacy Hawks. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, and thank you for having me back again, Daryl. I look forward to this every month. And I understand we're talking about love stories today.
Absolutely. The topic today, as Stacy told you, is love stories or romance novels or romantic stories because February 14 is coming, so everybody is going to be busy on that day. Hola amigos, pues bienvenidos una vez más a este gran programa de literatura actual. Bueno, pues el día de hoy ya lo dijo Stacy. Vamos a tocar el tema de las novelas románticas, las historias de amor, especialmente porque, bueno, estamos en febrero y pues en estos meses, en este mes específicamente, pues se habla mucho del amor, ¿no? Y para ello, pues comentaremos diferentes cosas acerca de estas historias que nos han marcado a todos y que por supuesto les recomendaremos a ustedes. Well, Stacy, let's start with the first question. And it's like this. For you, what is a love story? Para ti, Stacy, ¿qué es una historia de amor? Go ahead, Stacy.
So, a love story for me is a story that is centered around two characters that are in a relationship, albeit complicated, not complicated, or new or not new. And they're going through these internal and external struggles together and trying to jump over some hurdles. And it can be funny, it can be dramatic, it can be, passionate. It just sort of depends on the story and the author, of course, who's telling it. But overall, I mean, it's got to get my attention. So that's what a love story is for me.
Absolutely, Stacy. On my opinion, well, I have read this meaning of a romantic novel. Literally, is the same as yours. Normally, the story ends with a satisfying ending or also a sad one. But we know normally it's a satisfying one as a happy story, a happy ending for everybody, but sometimes it's a sad ending. Amigos y amigas, Stacy nos acaba de comentar su definición acerca de una historia de amor. Y para ella es esta historia donde estas dos personas, estos dos personajes, se van a encontrar en estos temas del romanticismo, de quererse, y cómo estas personas pueden tener diferentes situaciones. Al mismo tiempo podemos tener comedia, podemos tener drama, pero sobre todo pues es la relación entre estas dos parejas. Y bueno, también otra definición que yo había leído en internet es pues que obviamente siempre se va a buscar un final feliz o un final triste, dependiendo. Hoy en día hay muchas historias de este tipo. And now, Stacy, on my case in a love story, well, I'm a very big movie fan, but also I know you have heard about this book. Coming to the second question, it's what is, can you tell me authors of this genre? ¿Puedes decirnos autores de este género?
Yeah, sure. So North Carolina is famous for probably Nicholas Sparks. He is one of our big romance authors. Shakespeare, Jane Austen, we'll go there. Nora Roberts, Danielle Steele. There's Margaret Mitchell, of course, from Gone with the Wind. She wrote that beautiful story from the Civil War era, but Debbie Maycomer as well. We also have some great people in the writing community. I'm talking like Augie Maciel, who wrote ICQ. That's a love story. It's kind of like You Got Mail before there's You Got Mail. And then Sarah Sutton with Out of My League, and Tyler Witkowski of Tea with Coffee Media. He also is an author, and his book, The Seeds of Love, is really good too. And it's a good example of characters having internal, external struggles and being there for one another. And it's romantic in its way. So it's really a great read. So I would recommend any of those authors and any of those books to anybody.
Absolutely. Also a shout out for OG Michelle that is in the program, and also to everybody that is also have been in the Writing World podcast. On my case, Stacy, well, in Latin America we have a lot of these authors of love. For example, we have Gabriel García Márquez with the book El Coronel no tiene quien le escriba. Literally, the colonel doesn't have anyone to write. Literally is the meaning of the story. Also, we have the poems of Octavio Paz. Also, we have other poems like Federico García Lorca from the Spanish era in the 20th century. Also, love stories. But also, I think again, in this case, when we are talking about these authors, uh, there are many similarities between Latin American authors and American authors, because at the end of the day, love is an universal language. So literally, it's going to be the same uh, goal for everybody who writes this kind of stories. You want to tell a story, you want to give the public your feelings. I think that's what you want when you are writing these kind of stories. Amigos y amigas, le estaba comentando a Stacy esta segunda pregunta de autores de este género, y Stacy nos dio muchos ejemplos. Nos comentó acerca de nuestro compañero O.G. Mashel, que ya estuvo aquí también en el programa. Nos comentó también de Sarah Soren, que estaba también en el programa de Stacy. Recuerden, de Writing World Podcast, que van a tener una revista pronto. También igualmente nos comenta pues otros escritores muy conocidos, Jane Austen. Quienes no han conocido a Jane Austen, pues Orgullo y Prejuicio es un gran ejemplo. Pride and Prejudice is a great example from Jane Austen, if you are right, Stacy.
Yes.
Example. También tenemos otros ejemplos de estas historias románticas. Aquí en Latinoamérica pues conocemos a Octavio Paz, conocemos a Federico García Lorca, a Gabriel García Márquez y otros autores más. Para la audiencia más reciente, no sé si conocen el libro de Bajo la misma estrella. Es un libro romántico de John Green. Also, Stacy, for the new era of readers, and that includes me and other classmates from my university, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful book and a beautiful movie. And there has been many, many, many movies with that topic. I think recently it was one with Dylan Sprouse or Cole Sprouse. I think it was a new one. And also there are other that I really don't like so much because I think that they are toxic, like 50 Shades of Grey or the After series. That the story, I don't know if you have read about it. Anna Todd wrote that book for Harry Styles. So at the end of the day, Harry Styles was really annoyed, I think, or I don't remember the article. But Harry Styles wasn't very receptive for the story because Harding, it wasn't him, and Tessa wasn't the character he liked. So, but it's new love stories, no? So now that we are on this month, we have to talk about those stories, but we are going to be talking about more about that later on the program. Y bueno, otros libros, bueno, comentamos, pues, Bajo la misma estrella, ya lo dije, una gran película, un gran libro igual, se lo recomendamos muchísimo, de John Green. Y por supuesto, no sé si han visto las películas de After, un poquito para mí, un poco de amor tóxico, pero bueno, pues ahí cada quien favoritos. Y por supuesto, Las 50 sombras de Grey, de E.L. James, pues que son muy, muy populares esos. Also, another love story, Stacy, that I really love, and I told you in December, it's a holiday love story. It's called Love Heart by Nina Dobrev and Jimmy O. Yang. It was on Netflix. I told you that movie to check it out. It was a really nice love story. I really love the characters of Nina and Jimmy. How these two characters, how she is catfished by someone who pretends to be another people, and at the end it isn't the one that she really thought it was. So it's a fun story, a comedy story if you want. And there are other examples, no? I don't know, Stacy, you have other comedy love movie that you would like to recommend, or story?
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I really like. I know it's not a book, but I really liked Overboard with Goldie Hawn. That was a hilarious movie. It's a great romantic movie. I don't know, it might have been a book or it might have been something somewhere, but it was just, that was always really funny to me. I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, I err on the side of, I like comedy and romance together. It's just that it's, for some reason, they don't stick out for me as much as like Pride and Prejudice would stick out to me. The 2005 version, which is the version that I feel fits probably the best. So, but yeah, that was a great movie on Netflix too, though. I seen it. It was really sweet. I liked it. And you've got
Also,
mail. And you've got mail. You've got mail is a great movie with Tom Hanks and
you got
Meg
Mel
Ryan.
with
Yeah.
Tom Hanks,
Yeah.
and if you correct me, it was Tom Hanks and Renee Zellweger
Meg
or
Ryan.
Meg Ryan. Meg Ryan.
Meg
Sorry,
Ryan.
sorry.
That's
Meg
okay.
Ryan. I don't remember so much. Sorry,
Yeah.
Stacy.
Yeah, some names just sort of run together. But yeah, those were that was just the best. It was so much fun because it was kind of like catfishing too in a way. Like they didn't know who they were talking to back and forth, and it really does kind of remind me, like I said, of Augie Maciel and his ICQ novel.
Absolutely. Amigos y amigas, seguimos platicando Stacy y yo de estas historias y bueno, nos acaba también dar otro ejemplo de estas historias que combinan la comedia, porque pues, realmente a mí también me encanta esa parte de la comedia y nos comentó de, no sé si han visto la película de Tienes un email con Tom Hanks y Meg Ryan de 1998, 1998 movie, if am I right, you got mail, Stacy. 1999, esta película
No.
de,
Yeah.
de, de,
Yeah.
de Tom Hanks y Nick Ryan, pues muy divertida. Ya saben, típica historia de que tú crees que otra persona lo es, pero a la mera hora no. Le comentaba también a Stacy otra recomendación pues, que me encantó fue Qué duro es el amor, Love Heart en inglés. Estaba en Netflix, les recomendamos muchísimo. Es una de mis favoritas. Es navideña, pero es muy, muy divertida. Igualmente, pues tenemos otros ejemplos como ICQ de nuestro amigo Oji Mashel, que también tiene estos géneros de amor, comedia. Entonces, eso se les recomienda muchísimo. And now, Stacy, the third question, I think, before we're going on a commercial break, why do you think these kind of stories are so popular? ¿Por qué crees que este tipo de historias son tan populares?
I think they're popular because, I think people like the idea of being in love or having someone who loves us in return, and having a great romantic or very dramatic love story to dive into is always a great way to spend Valentine's Day or any part of the year, really. But as readers, we become emotionally invested in these stories, and we experience the joy and the heartache and the passion alongside these characters. And these tales often comfort, and are kind of a refuge between us and the world in a way, and they can inspire desires, hopes, dreams, and just want us to really learn more about these fictional characters' lives and their relationships and how far it goes. Because I mean, if an author does really well, if they do really well with that one certain set of characters, and they could go on and make a whole saga or a whole series of them. I mean, just
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
just take a look at like 1883 that was done by Taylor Sheridan. I mean, you just imagine the books that could come out of that too.
No, absolutely. I agree
Yeah.
completely with you with these sagas. Again, I don't know if you heard the story about E.L. James that she literally wrote a fanfic of
Mm.
Twilight, and she didn't know that her fanfic is going to be a multi-million dollar franchise in Hollywood. For me, they are in my best movies, but at the end of the day, E.L. James accomplished her dream, creating a
Yeah.
saga, a love saga,
Yeah.
and at the end, she has many fans around the world. So it's interesting, as you say. These stories are so popular. I agree completely because of the message, and also I think Stacy, another part that you say is literally you imagine being the main character on those love stories and you say okay, I'm really this character. I'm traveling on this journey of self-love or
Yeah.
love discovery. So it's these kind of stories. That's why many people are on this. Honestly, I'm not as much a romantic novel reader, but I agree sometimes that you see this movie, for example, on 13 Going on Terry with Mark Ruffalo and Jennifer Garner. I really love that love story because it gives you messages about how you want to be when you are older, but also to enjoy your time as a teenager. So I really love that, and also to give a second chance on things that you thought that were over. No, I'm not going to spoil for everybody who hasn't seen the movie, but I think many people have seen it. At the end of the day, you learn your lesson and appreciate the people that you have beside you. No, Amigos y amigas, pues le comentaba a Stacy, pues otras historias. Seguimos con esto. Estos géneros, ¿por qué son tan populares? A final de cuentas, combinamos esto de que tú te crees en la historia, tú te metes en el personaje, tú crees estar con este tipo y sobre todo, pues que te fascina meterte en el viaje de descubrimiento de este personaje. Aquellos que leyeron alguna vez los libros, insisto, románticos de Jane Austen, de Gabriel García Márquez o de cualquier otro autor romántico que con mucho gusto también nos pueden recomendar para el programa, pues sobre todo te metes en la historia y sientes que eres el personaje. Y estas historias son universales, por eso te metes ahí en el mismo personaje. Y bueno, y en mi caso, sinceramente, no soy tan fanático, pero ciertas películas como las ya les dije, Que duro es el amor, y eh, si yo tuviera 30 pues sin duda fue una de esas películas. Stacy, we're going on a commercial break and we're coming back soon. Amigos y amigas, vamos a dar una pausa comercial y regresamos. Y estamos de regreso aquí en Literatura Actual con su anfitrión, Darío Aguilar Peregrina y Stacy Hawks. We're back on Literature today with Stacy Hawks and myself. And we were talking about these love romantic stories that we really like and we really appreciate on this month of love. Amigos y amigas, pues regresamos con este tema de las novelas románticas. Y estábamos comentando acerca de estas historias, por qué eran tan populares. Y ahora por ello, continuemos con esta sesión de preguntas que sin duda pues, nos pone a pensar muchísimo con esto del amor. Stacy, now, we already talk about these movies, these stories that you have told me, but now, can you tell me more examples of movies or stories of this genre? ¿Nos puedes dar más ejemplos de este tipo de historias?
Sure. Well, I mean, as I mentioned, I think I love Jane Austen and that kind of era type of love stories. So Persuasion's a great example. Emma's another great example. Both have been turned into movies. Both are based off of books. And Little Women is also a great love story. So is Jane Eyre. And you were talking about earlier new movies like The Fault in Our Stars, things like that. 5 Feet Apart was really good by Rachel Leppincott. That's a great book. And then Where the Crawdads Sang recently was a great love story, and I got the privilege to see that in theaters. But by Delia Owens, and it is a wonderful Southern, just Southern love story, and it's just a great case. It's kind of like, I would say To Kill a Mockingbird kind of mixed up with some other stuff, but it's really a great story. It's overall a love story, it really is.
Absolutely, I agree again, Stacy. On my opinion, the ones that I really got to appreciate recently was one of them, um, Me Before You.
Yeah, Me Before You. That's a good one.
Also, About Time. About
Yeah.
Time with Rachel McAdams and Domhnall Gleeson. That movie, I think, is really, really amazing. Uh
Did she do The Time Traveler's Wife too? Because that was a book.
huh.
Yeah.
Also, it was a book. I don't remember the author right now, but the
Yeah.
movie, Stacy. When I saw that movie, I really loved it. I really love it because there was many things on my life that I said it had happened on there when I was in a relationship. But also, I really loved this movie because it was charming. It had time travel. It was very interesting. It was nearly 3 hours, but it didn't matter because at the end, I really love all the characters of the story, and also I love the Dom Hal Gleason character because he says, "Okay, you can travel time many times, but you are not going to find your true love if you're continuing to do that." I remember also in the one that Me Before You, also it was a sad story for me, but also it was charming. Again, these kind of sad stories were also charming. I don't know, it has something that really changes your
Yeah, it
perception
draw
about that.
it draws you into those characters and into that world. It really does. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I'm just curious. I mean, since we're on the topic of books and love stories, do comic books count? I mean, I know we've got some comic book fans out there, probably. I mean, Superman and Lois. That's a great, love story, and it's been portrayed on the screen as well as through comic books. So
Absolutely, because that story is legendary. On the case of my mom and I, we have seen many times the Superman movies, and she says she loves the Christopher Reeve ones because it was more about love stories than action, ¿no? Amigos y amigas, Stacy y yo estamos comentando acerca de estamos acerca comentando de estas historias y le dije acerca de unas películas. Jane Austen una vez más nos mencionó Stacy sobre Orgullo y Prejuicio, que se las recomendamos muchísimo. Y yo le comenté las películas de Yo antes de ti y la película de Cuestión de Tiempo. Cuestión de Tiempo, sin duda, es una película que considero que es muy hermosa. Hubo muchas cosas que al verla, pues me recordaron cosas de que yo tuve en un momento. Y y bueno, pues a final de cuentas, lo más importante es que este tipo de historias pues combinan algo, la tristeza, pero también el drama, pero también la comedia y diferentes cosas para todos, ¿no? También Stacy nos comentó acerca de, pues, Superman y Lois. Quienes no han visto esta relación de los cómics, pues es muy popular, pues que es una historia de amor, básicamente. Entonces, si pueden darse la oportunidad de ver las películas, vean esos mensajes y te das cuenta, wow, qué hermoso era. Stacy, now, in this case, what are your favorite ones? Which ones are your favorite ones? ¿Cuáles son tus favoritos?
oh my goodness. So my favorite one of all time would probably be Gone with the Wind. I love Gone with the Wind. I love everything about that movie. Vivian Leigh, the history of the movie, the actors, the behind the scenes stuff. Just have studied that movie over and over. Civil War is kind of my era too, to studying history. So I get really excited anytime I can see a film or see something that's based off of that. And I also really love, ever since I was young, I will really love Ever After. It was based on Cinderella, and it starred Drew Barrymore, and it is just a great young adult, romance story for this time of year. And and Drew Barrymore does a fantastic job playing Cinderella.
No, Cinderella. I have to tell you, Stacy, the original one from 1950. I have I saw that movie as a kid, and I always cried when that movie came on Disney Channel. But there was another Cinderella movie that I really loved with Hilary Duff, A Cinderella Story on 2002.
Mm-hmm.
I really loved that movie. It was very charming because Hilary Duff was this
she's
this,
fun.
this character that was in love with the football guy, this athletic guy that I only play football, that, and I don't want other thing. So I really love that story. No, also another recently the remake with Disney with Lily James. I think it was alright. It wasn't my favorite, but it was alright. Also, my favorite one, Stacy. Again, it was the whole time. It's one of my favorites. Love Heart is definitely the number one for me. And another love story that I think I really appreciated, it was in a movie, in a Mexican movie called El Barrendero, the swiper, literally. It's a comedy movie from the 80s, from the comedian Cantinflas. I really love this story because this charming swiper that cleans the streets in Mexico City gets in love with this other girl that cleans in houses. It was very charming. I really love it. Also, Stacy, I remember. I don't know if you have seen the movie of Shall We Dance with Jennifer Lopez and Richard Gere. It's a really really fun story because the character of Richard Gere wants to learn to dance with Jennifer Lopez, and the wife of Richard Gere thinks otherwise. So it's a really nice story. Amigos y amigas, vamos a una publicidad más y vamos a comentar aún más acerca de estas historias favoritas sobre nuestras historias del amor. Regresamos. We're coming back.
Curso intensivo de podcast en G-Dance Academy, 100% online, 2 módulos, certificación digital, aula virtual, producción, edición, marketing, monetización, grabación. Curso intensivo de podcast en G-Dance Academy, plataforma educativa online.
Y regresamos a Literatura Actual para tratar esta última parte de nuestro programa de novelas románticas. We're back on Literature today to talk about the last part of these romantic novels, romantic stories. Y bueno, estábamos platicando Stacy y yo antes de la pausa comercial, pues acerca de nuestras películas favoritas de estos géneros. Y bueno, Stacy, una vez más, insisto, nos comentó acerca de las películas, las adaptaciones de Jane Austen. Yo les platiqué también al mismo tiempo, pues, de las películas de Cuestión de Tiempo, Yo antes de ti. También la película de Bailemos con Richard Gere y Jennifer López fue muy graciosa, también una película muy divertida. Se recomiendo, es de amor. Y pues hay muchísimos más ejemplos. On my case, another example, Stacy, that I really love this movie, and it's recent, and I was missing that story that I really love it. La La Land. La La Land with Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. I really love that movie. When I saw that with my mom told me, for me, it was a very simple story. I don't think it was very amazing. But I told her, Mom, you are wrong. I think this is a great love story because it's the one that I really want to have, because she wants to be an actress on Hollywood. He wants to be a jazz player. And at the end of the day, both accomplish their dreams. But unfortunately, they get away from each other, and it's a sad ending. But at the end of the day, it's reality for many people. So that's why it won the Oscar. And another movie, Stacy, that I nearly forgot, it's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind with Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet. It's a sad love story because, you know, the Jim Carrey character, normally he does a lot of comedies, but in this case he makes this drama with Kate Winslet, and I didn't know until I read I normally love to read how the movie was made. I really love the process behind the movie. Yeah. And one of the things that the director says when you see that movie is check the hair color of Kate Winslet's character, because every time the hair changes, it means that she really is getting away from the Jim Carrey character, and both are getting a divorce. So I was shocked because I didn't knew that thing until recently. So okay, you see the movie, and literally her hair changes every time she has this sad thing with Jim.
I will have to watch this. I have not seen this movie. I will have to check this out and watch her hair color change.
Sad movie. And another example, Stacy, that I really love, and you are going to hate me, but on the 13 Going on Terry with Jennifer Garner and Mark Ruffalo, the ending, it didn't satisfy me, and I'm going to tell you why. I really wanted the Jennifer Garner character not to get with the Mark Ruffalo character. I really wanted Mark Ruffalo to get away with the other girl, because I saw the movie as a kid, and I told myself, well, if she doesn't like him, well, you lost your opportunity. Mark Ruffalo loves the other girl, and you lost, my friend. But recently, when I saw the movie again, I said, well, she deserves a second chance to make amends and get with Mark Ruffalo, because at the end of the day, they want to be together. But I told you, you were going to hate me, because I really wanted that ending. The one that Mark Ruffalo stays with the other girl and Jennifer Garner stays sad forever. Sorry, I really wanted that ending.
No, I think that's true of some romance movies that we watch. We're like, man, I really wish that it ended differently. I really wish they'd had, you know, an opportunity to do this or do that. I think that's natural.
It's natural, Stacy.
Yeah.
Amigos y amigas, pues le estoy comentando a Stacy de otras películas, y le comento que también cheque mucho la de Eterno Resplandor de una mente sin sentido, o sea, así se llama la traducción en español, con Jim Carrey y Kate Winslet. Y le comento a Stacy que el director comenta detrás de cámaras que cheques mucho el cabello de Kate Winslet cada vez que veas la película, porque cada vez que se pone de un color diferente es que está separándose de Jim Carrey, el personaje de Jim Carrey. Entonces, eso es un dato que apenas me enteré recientemente y hasta me quedé en shock. Y otra cosa que le comento a Stacy de estas historias amorosas, Normalmente pues queremos que terminen las historias pues con amor, con ternura, ¿no? Pero hubo una película en particular, y ya la comentamos, es la de Si yo tuviera 30, con Jennifer Garner y Mark Ruffalo, y le comenta a Stacy que honestamente me hubiera encantado el final de que Mark Ruffalo se fuera y que no se quedara con Jennifer Garner, porque Jennifer Garner en toda la película, el personaje, pues, no lo trató bien. Entonces yo dije, pues lo siento, Jennifer, perdiste tu oportunidad, Mark Ruffalo ganó y vámonos, o sea, el tipo merece mejores cosas. Pero luego, bueno, ya luego ves la película y dices, pues no, sí se merecía una segunda oportunidad, ¿no? And Stacy, the last question for today, for this great program, any advice for those who want to write these kind of stories? ¿Algún consejo para aquellos que quieran comenzar a escribir este tipo de historias?
Sure. So I would say, write from the heart. A good love story is not just about two people falling in love. It's about the audience falling in love with their journey, and the reliability of these characters play a crucial process in that. So you need to be able to be reliable in their emotions and in their feelings and their desires, and show their flaws to the readers and the viewers so that they can identify with them and just create that bond. It's so much more than just words on a page. It's really truly emotion.
Agree completely. Amigos y amigas, Stacy nos acaba de comentar acerca de su opinión para aquellos que quieren escribir este tipo de historias. Y ella nos comenta, a final de cuentas, que lo que importa es el corazón, que escribas con el corazón, con el alma, que hagas estas historias, pues, de buena fe y sobre todo, pues, que, insisto, lo hemos repetido muchas veces en el programa, disfruten del proceso de escribir. No es una tortura, es crear tu historia como tú gustes y sobre todo, pues, que te encante. On my opinion, Stacy, for closing this program, absolutely. Heart is the first thing when you write these kind of stories. Second, you can also tell things that happen in your personal life. For example, in the Latin dancing one, I normally like to point my love story with some girl in the past I had. And also, I love to tell many things about how in Latin America we want to impress the girl, and also writing poems, these kind of things that are really for the heart. And also, for my beloved Camila Pet that I had, and also this kind of love things that you really know. Amigos y amigas, pues le comento a Stacy, pues que sin duda, a final de cuentas, lo que importa es tener el corazón, insisto otra vez, con estas historias. Puede ser de tus experiencias en el pasado, puede ser también acerca de cosas que te están sucediendo, puedes dedicárselo a la chica, al chico que gustes, sobre todo pues que lo hagas de corazón y no tengas miedo de expresarlo. Por eso son estas historias románticas. Stacy, please, again, your social media, and we're going to finishing this program.
So you can follow us on The Writing Wall. Our first eMag, Valentine's Day eMag, drops Saturday on our Buy Me Coffee page. Find us on X at The Writing Wall, or on Instagram at Writings on the Wall 85. And you can follow us on Dividing Ridge Books on Instagram at Dividing Ridge Author, or on X at D Ridge Books.
Thank you, Stacy. Amigos y amigas, pues recuerden, sigan a nuestra compañera Stacy Hawks. Va a tener ya una nueva revista digital. Por favor, chéquenlo en The Writing Wall. Por favor, sigan también las historias que ya hace en Dividing Rich Books. Pues, por supuesto, son muy buenas. Y bueno, yo soy su anfitrión, Darío Aguilar Peregrina. Pues ya saben, seguimos trabajando aquí en Hello Arte y G-Dance TV. Y, por supuesto, trayéndoles lo mejor de esto de la cultura. Aquellos que ven nuestro programa, insisto, un saludo. Un saludo también a OG Michelle, un saludo para todos aquellos que nos siguen y por supuesto, pues síganme en mis redes sociales como Darío Aguilar Peregrina, Twitter, bueno, es X ahora, y Facebook e Instagram, igualmente Stacy la pueden encontrar en esas redes sociales. Amigos y amigas, nos despedimos and we're going to be back on the next edition of Literature Today. Thank you, Stacy. Adiós, amigos.
Thank you. Adios.
Adiós.
I never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of